Welcome to the spooky forest of 1997. Today we're going to do my favourite black metal albums of 97. That's right, I got some new shit in the background. Woo! There'll be some more stupid content coming your way, but first of all, let's carry on with our series of the best black metal albums from each year. And this year is 97, which has so many good... I think it's 97, right? Yeah, 96. I had to check then. I was like, did I do 96 already? But yes, we did. Questy has the mind of a goldfish. Let's talk about some black metal albums from this year, starting with a big one, that being Emperor's Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk. My favourite Emperor album. I love In the Nightside Eclipse. Pure classic, but Anthems just has this kind of massive, bombastic, symphonic energy and the most chaotic album. One of the most chaotic black metal albums I've heard. So many furious elements within. Love it, heard it in full at Bloodstock when they played, which was quite good. I also heard them do In the Nightside Eclipse in full recently, a couple of months ago as well, so heard 2 albums in full by the band, which is quite fun. Do like myself some Emperor. Love this album, it's a staple. If it's not on this list, something's wrong. It's one of the best black metal albums of all time, and it's coming here. The next up is Dawn of the Dying Sun by Hades. Fairly, I don't want to say too underrated, but not a lot of people talk about Hades, and I think they're a fantastic band. Very melodic, I'd say. The melodies within are just so infectious. It just makes you just want to bang your head most of the time. Good atmosphere as well. Furious, and you know from the album cover, you know it's going to be a blast, because you can generally tell by black metal album covers that you're going to like it. And this one, beautiful album cover mixing with the beautiful music. It was in my top 50 of all time when I did the video with that. I need to do a redo of that. If anyone wants that, let me know down below, because it's probably changed by now. But yeah, Dawn of the Dying Sun. Bloody fantastic album. Next up is Blutsabbath by Belphegor. That album cover with like a deep throating crucifix. Fantastic. Well, she. There's obviously tits there, Questy. Obviously tits. No anatomy. But yeah, this album is one of Belphegor. I keep forgetting the fucking name of the band. One of Belphegor's best albums. It has that kind of pure black metal spirit. Unlike a lot of the later ones, which is more on the black and death, this is still more on the black metal side than the death metal side. Love it. It's a massive step up from The Last Supper, in my opinion. I think it just improves on it in every fucking way. The songs are killer. Evil atmosphere. Still ferocious. You know, it's still got that ferocious energy. For fans of Marduk and stuff like that, you will like this album. If you kind of pass them off as like a Behemoth clone, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. This album will change your mind. This album is amazing, and it's one of my favourites of 97. Next up is Old Man's Child with the Pagan Prosperity, my favourite album by the band. This just incorporates the kind of old school atmosphere of like Born of the Flickering, mixing it in with the more melodic side that they'll come to be known as. Bit of a symphonic flair, but I wouldn't say they're a symphonic band. This just has that icy cold atmosphere, the great pagan nature. You know, I like my kind of pagan metal. Even though the sound-wise, it's not quite as pagan as like Nocturnal, Mortum, or Arcona, or anything like that, or Moon Sorrow. But yeah, it's still more folky than a lot of their other albums. Love it from start to finish. It is my favourite for a reason, because the songs just slap. It's a fantastic album, one that everyone should check out. Next one, I'm going to need to read this. I'll put the album cover in the background for this one because it's icy cold. Mellom, Skogkledde, Aaser by Campfire. Speaking of pagan stuff, this one is fan-fucking-tastic. Very underrated. They've had a lot of releases. The latest one from last year, I think it was, with everyone skipping around the fire, was really good as well. And the one with Medusa Head. I will rank them soon. There are a band I wanted to rank soon, but this one is one of my favourites. It just has that old school atmosphere, that old school kind of energy. I love it for that. Very unique, very interesting, and the vocals are just furious. I love the vocals on here. And the atmosphere, just like Pagan Prosperity, the atmosphere is thick and rich, and you just want to be barrel rolling along the snow with the penguins with this album. It's that bloody good. That's why it's in my top 10 of 97. Next up, some Aeturnus with Beyond the Wandering Moon. This one is more on the atmospheric kind of side of things, more on the spiritual, and like you want to blast this while you're wandering through a dark forest. That's this kind of album. Very moody, very eerie, and you know, I like my stuff like that. I like my music where you're wandering through a forest, like aforementioned Moon Sorrow, Drook, stuff like that. And this kind of just, I love it. I love it. Naught as well is a good one, more on the Funeral Doom kind of side of things, but still black metal. But yeah, Aeturnus, classic band, amazing album, and it's one of my favourites of this year. Next up, for the more melodic black side, Enter the Moonlight Gate. Enter the Moonlight Gate, my favourite Lord Belial album. This is melodic black through and through with a bit of a symphonic kind of like dash of symphonic flair throughout. And it has the best songs on. It just has the best songs. Kiss the Goat's pretty good, but this just improves on it in every fucking way. Kind of like I think Pagan Prosperity did with Almost Child. This does the same kind of thing, just upward trajectory, getting better and better. And this is my favourite. The melodies here, sublime. I'd say this is probably one of the best melodic black metal albums of all time. I think I prefer it to like Storm the Lightsbane, even though I love that, and the Somberlane. But this is, I don't know, I think this is slightly better. Slightly, is that blasphemy? Maybe it is, but I love this album. That's how much I love this album. And it's here on this list. The next one I'm going to have to read again because it's stupid. The Slaughter of Innocence, Requiem of the Mighty. What a mouthful for that. Hecate Enthroned, an English black metal band. What is that doing here? But let me tell you, the melodies within, the symphonic nature, amazing. One of the best symphonic black metal bands around, Hecate Enthroned. Very underrated. And you wouldn't expect it from like England, but they just nailed it. They nailed it and knocked it out of the park with this album. Easily one of the best in the genre. So fun to listen to. It's a fun black metal album to listen to, and I think they're a great band. Thoroughly enjoyed this release, and it's sitting here on the list. Next up is Goat Horns by Nokturnal Mortum. Oh, my favourite Nokturnal Mortum album, if you don't class to Lunar Poetry, because Lunar Poetry is a demo, even though it's a full, I mean, it's like 45 minutes long or something stupid, but if you don't class that, Goat Horns is my next favourite, which is a proper full-length release. It's so goddamn good, mixing the folky atmosphere, pagan side of it with the black metal, my favourite kind of black metal, and it's just that good. It's kind of like you're wandering through a forest and some witches dancing around a fire, someone's playing a fucking flute in the background. Oh, I love it. I love Goat Horns is a masterpiece of an album, and I need it on CD. I don't have it on CD. I got Verity on CD, I got To the Gates of Blasphemous Fire, and I got what's the one with the hammer? Voice of Steel. Masterpieces, all of them. But I need Goat Horns and Lunar Poetry, my two fucking favourites. I don't have them. I'll get them soon. But yeah, one of my favourite bands of all time, and this album's one of my favourite albums of all time, so if it's not here, that's what needs to happen. Let's end it on some Ulver with Nattens Madrigal. Ulver, fantastic band, you know them. They kind of went off and did their own thing after the first three, but Nattens is my favourite. I do love Bergtat. It has that kind of same atmosphere as Nocturnal Mortum, but Nattens has this raw primal energy that no other black metal band or album has ever done. Like, the rawness of this album, it just makes your ears bleed. That's how raw this album is. I've never heard an album as raw as this. Like, I just fucking haven't. This is just ear-piercing, and I love it for that. It's, like, painful in a good way. Maybe Questy is a masochist. Yeah, I love this album. Like, ferocious as hell, riffs are memorable, just catches all hell, and the production is fucking shit. And that's the way I love it. Holy crap, this is an amazing album. And the album cover is fantastic as well. And I'm pretty sure this album cover was in The Sopranos. Pretty sure AJ had a poster of it. And I was like, whoa, he's got Nattens Madrigal on the wall? What a lad. What a fucking lad. Anyway, that is my list. There's a couple of honourable mentions I wrote down, because there's so many good ones from every year, and I can't get to all of them, so I missed off Gorgoroth, Dimmu Borgir, Borknagar, Nagelfar with an E, Arcanum, Summoning. Those are just a few of the ones I missed off from this top 10. So, Please pop down below what you consider the best albums of this year. Probably some of them will be included. I've missed off loads. I can only fit 10 on every episode. So this is generally, I say the best of. It's my favourite. It's the best to me. So yeah, hopefully you had some fun. Let me know down below and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.